Okay, and here we're now with Dan BC, and Tracy is the third of 3 interviews. We can find out what makes Bigways tick.
Thanks, David. Hi, Dan. Okay, so we have our third interview, our third in the series. And I just want to talk about Dan coming down to Australia in December to do the Bigway camp and the Aussie sequential record attempt. So first of all, this first event in December, what do you have in store for us, Dan?
Well, as I see it, we are trying to build the next Aussie record team. And we have enough time because it's scheduled for 2019,
Yes.
correct? So we have 2 years, basically, to build up, which means that there's people who may be AFF students right now who can still be on this record. There may be people who haven't even jumped yet who could be on this record. And by coming to this camp, and at this camp, people are going to really build the skills, they're going to learn the attitude, they're going to learn the strategies, they're going to learn everything there is to know about doing Bigways. And then they will also be able to take that and share it with the other jumpers at their home DZs, at all sorts of different events in Australia, to be able to teach young jumpers these things right from the start. And this is a big reason why I believe we scheduled the event that far out. We didn't want to do it right away. We wanted the chance to really build up the new team. So at the event in December, we're going to be training people to be on that team, but also helping them to become coaches, to train people who aren't actually at the event.
Yeah, very true. Thanks, Dan. And so when you come down to Australia, obviously you'll have some methods that are tried and true in Paris. So are you going to go ahead and do the same techniques that you do in Paris, or are you going to try something new on the Aussies?
we already tested everything out on the Aussies before. No, but most of the techniques and the strategies are tried and true and proven, and many of them, a lot of the Australian group have been a part of developing over the last few years. So it's never exactly the same. Depending on the group, depending on the weather, depending on the conditions, we're ready to improvise a little bit when we need to. But the strategy is pretty tried and true, and will be very similar to what we've done in Paris before.
Okay, good. Now, this event, it's a mixed bag. We have older and new jumpers, experienced, less experienced. So how are you planning to keep the more experienced jumpers engaged, yet whilst training up the new jumpers so that they reach their full potential in this event?
Well, first of all of the experienced jumpers were new jumpers not that long ago. And I think all of us can remember, I still remember the guys that took me under their wing and taught me, how to fly, taught me how to do 4-way, 8-way, Bigways. And it's wonderful to be able to teach that to other people. The way that we've got it planned out, the first few days of the camp, we're going to be mixing the groups completely. And it's nice to have that balance of more experienced people and less experienced people. If you have only lesser experienced people in one group, there's a lot of different variables, a lot of different things that can happen, and there's not as many people really setting the example. When you mix that up, so you have very experienced people as well, then we can talk about things on the ground, and then the younger jumpers actually see it in the air. And when you see it, you realize that it's not that hard. This stuff's just not that hard. You can. It's really pretty easy if you just calm, you take your time, and you can see a good example of how it's done.
Right. And what would you say you're looking forward to the most in December?
Looking forward the most?
Yeah.
I guess I'll leave Greg Jack and picking on him out of this.
You can add it in. You can add it in.
I'm really looking forward to walking away at the end of the camp and know that we have built the foundation and trained the people to be ready to go with the record in 2019.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much. That's a great ending for this interview. So we'll leave you now and come back to our 4th interview next month. Thank you.